alive now. You can forget about that one. And you keep them coming in. You're doing well, son.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Everyone's expecting. If you know them well, you know. Do as I say, not as I do. Welcome, friends, you know. Unity in all that
Hey, welcome everybody to Drunk Dudes in a Gun Room. This is Don, and this show is brought to you by Operation Encore. They are a 501c nonprofit helping veterans transition into music careers. So go check them out at operationencore.org. And the show is also brought to you by Gun Room Radio.
you are not alone. There are so many. It's a mortar attack. Smaller fire and RPGs. We don't. He was sitting in the shadows with a gun in his hand and a lifetime. I know you can remember when all the shows turned off at 12 a.m.
Hey, I'm glad y'all joined in. I have got a show that I have been waiting to do for a while. So coming up next is Coast Guard veteran Amelia Presley. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing great. So why don't you give everybody a real quick overview of who you are and a little bit of your history.
Okay. Well, I joined the Coast Guard back in 2010. And I came in and I wanted to be a rescue swimmer. Ended up getting injured and went MK instead, machinery technician.
Okay.
And so did that. I was, first station was Air Station New Orleans. And then for my A school, I was up in Yorktown, Virginia. Then got stationed at Wachapreague, Virginia. And then took a critical field down in Dauphin Island, Alabama. And then ended up at Station Pascagoula, Mississippi after they started a medical discharge.
Oh wow, they kept you in the South, didn't they? So I did a little time in Georgia. That's where I retired at. So a lot of those areas I was familiar with.
Okay.
So what let's start out with what brought you to the military? Did you come in right out of high school, or what was the plan?
I was 21 and working 3 different jobs, trying to survive, and I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to put music out there, and I quickly figured out that takes investment money. And so
Absolutely.
I started looking into the military, and I looked at every single branch. And I actually took my ASVAB with the Army. And I had a GED, so that was a hang up. And also I was a single mother, so that was another hang up. and the Army was giving me the runaround. And then after I took my ASVAB, I scored decently high, and they were trying to say, well, if you come and sign today, we'll get you in. Like after I took the ASVAB, they changed their tune, and they were like trying to get me to sign it really quick. And I was like, man, there's got to be, I don't know if I want to do it if they want me that bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so the Coast Guard was the only one that was like, we don't give a shit if you join or fall off a cliff.
They don't. You guys are like it's like a secret society, even like at the MEPS, everybody's lined up and we're looking over and there's like a separate line of like 4 guys. We're like, what branch is that? I need to be over there.
Yeah, they did not care. So I was like, man, I think I want to join this one because they must have something good going on if they don't care if I join or not.
That must be the easiest job in the world, to be a Coast Guard recruiter.
Hi.
Hi.
Let me grab this little nugget real quick.
All right.
He just woke up from a nap.
Uh-oh. Did we wake you?
Hey, hi.
Hey. Well, you're happy.
He's like, what's going on? Yeah. So I joined, and they got me some waivers for the GED and the being a single mother. And then my first unit was Air Station New Orleans. And back to the reason I joined. I joined because I knew I needed investment money for this for music purposes, and so my first year I started working on that, and I saved up my money and went to a studio in Nashville and got 10 songs done.
Wow.
For my first album. But
yeah.
And then sold a horse and a horse trailer to finish paying for it. Pawned some guns. That's great.
Okay, I draw the line at pawning the guns. All right. I got my little collection back there.
Man, I've pawned some guns and some guitars in my day to pay for music.
Oh, I'm sure. There's been a lot of stories. We had Barbara Sim on here, and man, she's out there. She literally bought a van and has like wired it up, put a bed in it, put a oven in there with a generator, and she's just driving around the United States gigging.
Nice.
And I'm like, wow, man. I drove a truck for 6 years. I know how dangerous the roads are, and here you are just tootling along. Now she's in Alaska. She's got them driving all the way up to Alaska.
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah. She's getting life experiences and getting her music out there and finding herself. So I think it's great, Yeah. So you joined the Coast Guard, and it's about music. So I'm going to say that you were playing music while you were in too, right?
Yeah.
Hanging out with people and getting the old guitar going. And
I didn't play guitar when I first joined. That's something I learned a couple of years in.
Everybody says that.
Yeah, I just sang, and so I got the album recorded, and I had to send voice recordings that were just a cappella, because that's how I wrote songs. I really still write songs like that. I just record my voice and the melody, and then figure it out on guitar now. But back then I would send it to the guy at the studio, and he'd get somebody to work the guitar parts out for me.
Okay.
But eventually, after I went to A school, I met a guy, a Chief Kovacevic, who they called him Chief Mud. Because nobody could say his name, but he was one of the instructors there, and we got together and started playing music. And he was a one-man band. He played guitar, and he had a kick drum, and then he had a tambourine on the other foot, and then he had a harmonica. And so he would play and I would sing, and then he would sing too. And we had a little group called Mud and Boots, and so that was my first. That was
That's
my
awesome.
first performance experience was with Cheap Mud and Mud and Boots, because Boots was like a nickname that people gave me because I always wore boots.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. You know, there's a guy on our radio station that if you listen to him sing, you would never know what he did. You'd never guess what he did in the military. But yeah, I picture him doing that same thing. That guy that's got like drums tied to him and he's playing harmonica and he's got tambourines strapped to him because his music is just like that. It's like something you'd see out in the street, you know. And I love it's because his name's Andrew Wiscombe is his name. And he was a military sniper. But man, to listen to his music, you would never know that's what he did, you know. So I kind of picture the image of what you're talking about. I just picture you out there with this guy that's got all the instruments tied to him.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long were you in the Coast Guard?
I was in just under 5 years.
5 years.
I got out in August of 2015.
Okay. So during those 5 years, did you start gigging and stuff like that too, to start getting experience with music, or?
I did. Let's see. After I moved away from Virginia and didn't have Mud to be my band anymore, I picked up a one of my shipmates. She was my fireman in Dauphin Island, and she had a guitar, and so I picked up her guitar and started messing with it. And then I took my tax returns into Guitar Center one year, and I bought an amp and a guitar and mic stand and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm committed. I've got to learn it. And so I taught myself all the necessary chords, and then I started booking shows, and then I did a tour with Ronnie McDowell. He was popular, I think, in the 80s.
Yeah, that name sounds very familiar.
He sang a song called "Older Women Make Beautiful Lovers."
Yep. I was in the back of the station wagon about, I don't know, 10 years old, 11 years old when my parents was blaring that on the whole 8-track.
Yeah, that was my first tour, was touring with him, opening up for him.
Awesome. That was, I laughed, but that is a good song. I actually like that song. That's really good.
Yeah, he's a super, super cool guy. He's still out there doing it, man.
Is he really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He's on the road constantly.
Yeah. As soon as you said the song, I instantly knew who you were talking about. Yeah. As my mom would say, that's real country.
Yeah, for sure.
She likes that old stuff, that's for sure. So when you started gigging out there, man, what was the shows like for your first time? Was you nervous, or have you been wanting this for so long you were like, let's do it?
I was definitely nervous, but I drank a lot more back then, so that helped.
Amen.
I
got a little 4 roses tonight, so.
I haven't drank in 2 years at this point, so
okay.
Right now I'm having to learn how to perform again without drinking, and
I bet that's different.
It's different because I definitely have some anxiety, and the alcohol, just wiped it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I don't drink near as much as I used to anymore, but yeah, I used to hide a lot of the trauma and the BS all with alcohol. So I unless I was drinking, I wasn't going to sleep. So
yeah,
that's really when I started drinking the most, was at night. And so yeah, I get it. Now I drink because I want to, not because I have to. So I might have, I don't know, maybe 5 to 6 drinks a week, you know, so nowhere near like what I used to have.
Yeah, that's the difference. You know, like it got to a point in my life where I was like, man, this is not serving me anymore. It's at that point it was definitely a crutch to get rid of the anxiety. And my boyfriend, who he's musician. Oh, sorry, lost the connection for a minute. He doesn't drink either, so he kind of taught me how to be okay, being out there and playing shows without drinking.
I mean, I'll be honest, you know, like I had some veterans that came on that were trying to become full-time stand-up comedians. And, you know, before the military, I was that guy that loved to tell jokes and be the center of attention and everything. And the new me would have to be pretty damn drunk to get on that stage to do that. But, you know, like they said too, you know, when you're that drunk and you're on the stage, you're the only one that thinks you're funny, you know? Yeah. And I think in the music business, especially now that I'm getting into with this radio station and everything, I think it's important that you are doing it with a clear mind, because I know what you guys are doing is not easy. And I didn't before the music business, but just simple things like watching a 3-minute music video. You're like, oh, that's really cool. You have no idea what it takes to make that happen. It's not easy, you know? Yeah. And you guys got, you know, like you got youngins and a family and everything else, plus your music business. And I see you all the time doing self-promotion, which is so important, you know. That is the one benefit that we have nowadays is social media, and you can kind of use the algorithms in your advantage and everything else. But, you know, you guys are 24-hour workers. You're either performing or thinking about performing or running the business side of the industry. And it's not, my hat's off to y'all, because it's not easy.
Yeah, you're one of the few that gets it, because there's a lot more. There's the social media plus the promotion. You know, you have to do all these things for yourself until you get to a point where somebody else can do it for you. And
absolutely.
It's funny when, like, you know, for this last release, I did have a team behind me promoting. Mm-hmm. But before that, and they were just doing radio promotion, nothing else. I was still doing the social media and everything. But before that, people would ask, well, let me get with your team or whatever. I was like, you are looking at her. Looking at the team.
Look, you know, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, when I owned my trucking company, I always said, you know, you're either working your business or you're running your business, but you can't do both. And I think it's important in what you guys do that you do both when you start out, because there's so many other people out there that will take you down a road to try to get that quick buck, but completely change your creativity and what you were trying to present as an artist, just to sell a record and make that dollar. But it may not be the best thing for your career. So you do definitely have to run your own side of that, you know, until you get established and you got enough pull to say, I'll just go somewhere else, you know, my way is my way. So absolutely. Well, why don't we hop in here and everybody's hearing about the music. Let's give them a taste of it. So I'm going to save my favorite song for the last song. We got 2 songs, but we're going to start out with Trouble. After we play it, then we'll get in. We'll talk about where the song came from and how it all came about. All right. So This is Trouble by Amelia Presley.
I said that I'm gonna leave this place, gonna hit the interstate, and if I don't come back, then I don't.
So let's get into, where did this song come from?
Let's see. I started writing that one when I was stationed in Virginia. And there was an officer at my first unit who called me trouble. So I kind of got the idea from him. And the song's just kind of about, especially at that time of my life, I was very much a gypsy, and I was just, going wherever, wherever the military sent me, and I was okay with that. And, relationships, I broke a lot of hearts because I was just, all over the place. I was young.
Yep, I can relate.
So, young and in the military, so just all over the place, just a completely different breed of person.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the military is kind of in that. It's like you're in a, man, I don't know. I don't know how to even explain it, but you're kind of just wild.
Yeah, it is. It's like college as a job. That's really the way I can, best way to explain it, because I know exactly what you're talking about, because I had a wife and kids and everything, and I was still thinking about me. I want to go drink, let's go to the clubs. But now I've got youngins and everything else, and it's like that spontaneous young guy that's still trying to be that guy. And every time it came time to re-enlist, I was like, screw this, I'm getting out, the hell with it, I'm done. And then reality would kick in. I'd be like, oh yeah, I got wife and kids and bills. So okay, I'll go ahead and re-enlist. And I did that for 20 years. So, and now I got a wife and grandkids. So not much has changed other I'm too old to party now. So but no, I do. I get it. And as I became a leader in the military, I seen it repeat. That's probably the one thing in all the branches is consistent, is the younger enlisted, and I don't care what anybody says, those lieutenants and the younger officers are out there doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it.
I partied with them. I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to. Korea, once the uniform comes off, they forget about the rank. So Korea, everybody's like, what's Korea like? I said, I don't know. I remember getting there and I remember leaving. Everything in the is kind of blurry. So, yeah, I get it. I do. So I do want to ask you, because I know on the radio station, there's a few songs that you are with the Highway Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about them and how that connection came and where their music came from.
Okay, so
I put you on the spot.
I'd moved back home to Mississippi. By that point, I'd gotten out of the Coast Guard. I had my daughter. This was in 2016. And there was a band, this guy that was putting together a band called the Highway Women. And he brought just 4 women together, and he made us, asked us to move to Texas, and wanted us to live in this house together. And it was like he just wanted to play record executive. It was stupid. It was so dumb, but we were getting paid a salary. He had a ton of money. But after a while we were like, okay, this is dumb. We're not, like, we're getting paid a salary and we're not really doing anything. We recorded a couple of songs, and then he lied about having shows booked for us. That wasn't the truth. And so
this wasn't Waco, Texas, was it?
It was Dallas.
Okay.
Are you thinking of a cult? Because
Yeah, it's starting to sound really, really suspicious.
it was it was pretty suspicious. It was a weird situation. Like I mean, we were going around on this big ass tour bus and nobody knew who the hell we were. It was stupid. He was paying to put on smoke and mirrors and play record exec. And so one of the women, Sarah Spicer, she had a better thing going on in Nashville, so she went back to Nashville, and then KK Bodiford and I decided to form Highway Sisters. So we all just separated from Highway Women, and my former manager actually took that on, and it's still crap because she's a scam artist. But Jen knows about her because she had a run in with her. She scams veterans for one. She has a charity that's not actually a charity and makes money off of it. But yeah, so she took over that band for a little while, but Highway Sisters formed, and then we were playing shows just nonstop. It really got pretty big pretty fast, and we played the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
We played as a duo, and then I played solo, and we toured in California, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Texas. Anywhere they would take us, we would go, and it was a lot of fun. And then COVID hit, and kind of everything just got stopped. So that was when I really started picking up doing more solo things, because it was KK ended up having a high-risk pregnancy, and she didn't need to be out in front of crowds and stuff. So so I started doing more solo stuff then. And we still do Highway Sisters gigs every now and then now, but mostly I'm doing solo shows.
I didn't know how the connection was, so I didn't load one of their songs. But there's a song that you guys sing that I absolutely love. It's called Papa. And yeah, it's a great song. I was thinking, I was like, should I upload this? But I didn't know the connection, so I thought, well, this is more about her, so we'll go over the songs. But yeah,
I love that song. That's KK wrote that song, and it's just it's such a good one.
Yeah. I love it too. I play it quite a bit when I'm DJing and stuff. All of us. So there's three of us that are doing the DJing right now, and you can kind of tell our tastes when you listen to each other's show, because we kind of all have our favorites. I get a lot of for the country. You and JB Brown are about as country as I go, and then I got Shannon Book and Malachias and Souls Warm. Then so I'm more on the rock side. And then I always give Brian shit. He's in the stream right now, but I always tell him, I said, you should just change yours to the Derek Stoner show, because he plays a lot of Derek Stoner. But that's the benefit of doing this. We get behind the scenes and we hear all the music. And when I seen you promoting yours, and I asked you if it was okay to load it up and play it, and I waited until your release date, because I didn't know if you was having a release party or anything like that. But I heard the song before it went on the radio, and I was like, I can't wait to play this,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's, as a matter of fact, that was the song that I sent to Operation Encore. I was like, you all got to hear this, And,
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a great song. I can't wait. We're gonna play it so y'all will get to hear it. It's called Sinner's Den. And before we talk about the song, let's talk about the music video that just released not too long ago. How did that come about, and how difficult was it to make?
I had actually cast two of my friends to play. Taylor Long is a musician, and then his wife, who does photography, Darian Long. So they're both just good looking people, and they're two of my best friends. And so I was like, man, they would be perfect for this sexy video. So the day before, I've just had so much crap going on. My baby is 10 months old. So, and I decided to release an EP, in the midst of having a brand new baby.
Yeah.
But the day before we went down there, I was like, what's y'all's address? And I look at the address, and it's no longer, I thought they were down near Austin. They used to be near Austin. They've moved hours away from there. So I was like, well, crap, we've got a place to stay down in Austin. That's where we plan to go to do this, and I can't change the plans now. So I was like, what can I do? And so I just wrote me and my boyfriend Jordan into it, and
Absolutely.
and his good friend Neil Barrett, who's done his music videos, he is down in Austin. So he called him up and said, can you come and shoot a couple of shots? So he's like, yeah, let's go to this place called the Sagebrush, and so we're like, okay, so we just show up to this venue that's we hadn't called before because it's completely last minute, and they're like, yeah, y'all can shoot some scenes, but hurry it up, like we've got people coming in, and so we're like trying to get some scenes. So like me up on the stage, that was like, we took like 15 minutes, and they're like, come on, y'all gotta go, y'all gotta get out of here. So we gave them no heads up. Like, we just walked in and said, can we shoot part of our music video here? And then and, they were annoyed, and they should have been.
Yeah.
And then the other part, Jordan and I just we filmed at my house. I just cleared off my my desk, and I set it up, and actually there's a contract in the video that was like some I think it's some TDY orders that I pulled out of my VA file.
Hey, they're good for something,
It just looks like a contract, so we just won't let it get close enough for it to have Coast Guard heading on top.
I could just see the Coast Guard's face, Well, I'm gonna say it. The video. If you guys have not seen her music video, you have to go. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Sinner's Den official music video, and I'm telling you, y'all are gonna love it. You would have never known that it was rushed like that from watching, because it was done great.
Thank
the people
you.
doing the camera did an amazing job.
I just set a camera up on a tripod.
I'm telling you. Well, whoever did it,
my iPhone, actually, I set my iPhone up on a tripod, and then
wow.
So if it was a scene where it was on me, then that was Jordan holding the camera and just holding the phone and just going up like that. So it was as low budget as it could possibly be. It didn't cost anything at all, except for his suit. He bought a suit for it. So
yeah, he is wearing a suit. That is true. Yeah. he should have rented. That way you could just take it. Well, let me ask you this. When Sinner's Den first came out, right? How is it doing on Spotify now?
It's that whole EP, Coyote House, doing the best of anything I've ever put out. It's not like it's not crazy numbers, but it's good for me. It's good for it's progressing, and I kind of have more of a business plan now for what I'm going to release.
Yeah.
And I've seen constant growth with it. So, and I know all that came from, some people think that radio isn't relevant anymore, but it is, because I got a ton of streams from all these places that were playing it on the radio.
Yeah.
Because I could look at the analytics and see, they're playing it, somebody's listening in Charlotte, North Carolina, or, it was consistent with where they were playing it on the radio.
Yeah.
So I plan to release more soon and just follow that path of putting it out there to radio and to continue to get organic growth.
Yeah, I remember the video you did, and at the time it was like 27 radio stations or something like that you were saying in your video, and I was like,
yeah,
wow, holy cow, man, people are grabbing that song, and that is great.
And now it's 70.
They should grab every veteran song and just start playing them, because Sinner's Den deserves to be on every radio station, and there's a lot of veterans out there that deserve to be on every radio station.
I appreciate it.
I think that is amazing that you've had that luck, and I think it comes from you being from all the way before the Coast Guard, wanting to do this, and as you're going through the stages, you're maturing, and now you're thinking business wise along with artistic wise, and you combine those two things, and big things happen.
Yeah, and investing. You have to invest. You have to invest in people that will promote you, and the right people, because there are people that will take your money and not do anything with it. So if there are any artists out there and they want to know who I used, please reach out, because I'll be glad to let you know.
Absolutely. Well, let's let everybody hear my favorite song. Coming up next is Sinner's Den by Amelia Presley. I love that song. Your voice, you get that grit in your voice when you're singing, and I think you're the only artist that we have on the radio station that just is there, and I love how the song came out. Where'd you come up with this song at?
Thank you. Well, I wrote it about about the music industry, and I wrote it in terms of of like a toxic love affair, where where you just keep coming back to this person, even though they're going to hurt you, and they're bad for you, and it's a toxic relationship. That's what the music industry is. It's you go through just this series of just being hurt, and there's people that'll stab you in the back, and it's hard, and you're going to be turned down, and then there's going to be times when you're on cloud 9 and you're like, man, this is why I do this, and then days when you're like, I just want to quit, like, why am I doing this? You'll have imposter syndrome, and it's just all these ups and downs, but if you're a musician, you've got to come back to it, because it's we're all crazy. There's some kind of there's something in our blood that makes us want to do this abuse to ourselves, and just keep going after this thing that is not likely to be successful.
It's tough. It's look, you're talking about a guy that never picked a career as a kid that had any realistic ability. I was in 3rd grade, and I love the story because it's funny. Your parents always tell you can be anything you want to be, right? You can grow up to be the president.
Yeah.
So I had a little girlfriend crush, whatever you want to call it, 3rd grade. Well, her dad trained racehorses, thoroughbreds, right? He was retired, but he still had some old retired thoroughbreds that he worked with, and he was teaching me how to ride like a jockey. So naturally, I decided I wanted to be a jockey.
Yeah.
And when he realized what he had done, he asked me one day, he said, what do you want to do when you get older? I said, I want to be a jockey. He said, you're in 3rd grade and you're taller than most jockeys. What are you going to do with your legs? And it's funny because now, I'm 6'1", 260 pounds. I thought that horse would be pissed if I was its jockey.
Jockeys are teeny tiny. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But I always chose, so after that, I wanted to be a pro football player, and the Army is where I went. Yeah. Even in the Army, I decided, I wanted to be an all-Army boxer. And I learned real quick that I'm not the baddest guy out there. There's some other guys that are pretty damn good. I did all right, but as I moved up, I learned real quick they hit hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Dang.
Absolutely.
That's cool, though.
Yeah. So, I get it. And now I look back on it, but I don't regret, I think everybody should pursue their dreams, especially veterans. And, and I say that, yeah, I'm kind of biased, but it makes me feel good to see people that have gone through what they're going through, because the military is what it is. Some people have great military careers. Some people don't, some have great experiences. Some don't, it's not always that happy thought process. But the one thing that is consistent is everybody that was in served their country, regardless of what happened. And somebody who puts their dreams and their passions on hold, whether you did it for, an investment in a music career, or my case, because I got married at a young age and needed to support a family, those reasons don't matter. It's the fact that you put your career on hold and your dreams. And to see people come out of the military now and still able to pursue those dreams, I think is amazing. And that's why I love this podcast, because, not that there's anything wrong with, we need the podcasts that talk about PTSD and all that stuff, but we also need those podcasts that talk about highlighting veterans and showing people we're not just a group of people that you shove in a bottle and say break in case of war. We have dreams and aspirations above the military too, whether that's to be a politician, a doctor, a lawyer, a songwriter, or a fake DJ like myself. At the end of the day, we all have lives too, just no different than anybody else. And there's that stigma that thinks, well, you're just a military guy. That's what you need to be,
Yeah.
And I love seeing the success that's going on, and especially you could tell the people on our show, there's some that are just out like yourself out there every day. They wake up. It's about how to improve my business, my art, my career. And then there's the other ones that are like trying to balance that. I'm going to be a father and work a full-time job. And then I'm going to occasionally gig and just have fun with it,
Yeah.
and you see that throughout everybody. But the one thing that still gets shared is the songs from their life experiences. And I think that's amazing, So I'm happy that you are doing so well. And it gives me hope that, that veteran artists will go far when I see how many radio stations have picked up your music. And I know at some point you guys are going to be so big that you're going to be like, Gun Room Radio, what was that? But I'm happy. And I can't wait to see you guys selling out auditoriums and civic centers and big old outside events. I think that's awesome. So tell everybody where's the best way for them to find you if they want to hear your music and learn and follow you and see where you're going to be performing at. Where's the best place for them to go?
AmeliaPresleyMusic.com really has everything, but my social media, I post everything on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I don't get on Twitter a whole lot. I've never understood the why people just want to post their thoughts. I do every now and then because I have to or I'm supposed to or whatever, but not as much as I should. I do TikTok sometimes. I feel kind of the same way about TikTok. I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm too old for that, I guess. Yep. I'm trying to find the value in it, but it's it's so dumb to me.
I tried the
kids.
I tried the TikTok thing. I kept getting suspended. So, every time they seen the guns in the background, like, have a nice day. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Social media. That's where. Spotify, just wherever you listen to music. If you just Google my name, should be pretty easy to find. I think it's just I'm the only Amelia Presley that's doing music. So for now.
Absolutely. Amelia Presley music accounts out there. Everybody's going to be acting like Amelia Presley. A bunch of clone accounts. We do have one artist that has Sugar Rose. I don't know if you know who she is, but she don't even use Spotify no more because somebody took her profile, created with her picture and everything else, and then posted their music underneath it, mixed in with her music. And she's like appealed it several times, and they're just like, no, have a nice day. So she's on another site. I don't remember which it is. But if you go to Spotify and you look up Sugar Rose, that's not her music.
Oh my gosh. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Golly. I've got a blue check mark now, so I'm the account that has a blue check mark on Instagram and Facebook. So, but there were a ton that I don't know what they thought they were getting out of making fake Amelia Presley accounts, but people would send me the screenshots of the chats, and they were just hilarious. Like somebody saying, in broken English that they'll give them, well, I'll give you tickets to my show and blah. Like, most of my shows are free. If somebody's trying to give you tickets to my show or get you to buy tickets to my show, most of my shows are free, so it's probably a scam.
So what you're saying is, if somebody comes to your show with a ticket, it means they got pulled over on the way, because
Yeah,
what they need.
they were speeding.
And I don't blame them. They don't want to miss it. That's important. Well, Miss Amelia, I appreciate you coming on, and I can't wait to watch and see how you grow as an artist, because you and Jen Ford are just killing it out there. You guys are. So I'm so proud of you guys, and
Blowing up. I love to see it.
Yeah, I both of you guys are, and I love the fact that I get on social media, and I promise you, while I'm scrolling, I'm going to see either you or Jen Ford or both, because you guys are on there so much doing the self-promotion, and it just makes me happy to see, because I know when you see somebody doing that, how much they really want it. So that is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and close out and throw our little exit video up. If you don't mind holding on, I got a few things I want to talk to you about once we go offline. All right?
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you go to YouTube and Facebook. Watch her music video. It is an amazing video. I promise you will like it. If not, she'll give you your money back. Even though it's free. So, yep, absolutely. So y'all enjoy it. Take care. Be safe. I can't wait to see y'all next Wednesday.